Mvubu, is there anything playing or something I'm supposed to hear?
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the fifth episode of the Mthunzi Mvubu virtual Hangouts. These Hangouts are sponsored by the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture Digital Solutions Fund. And today I have the pleasure of hosting my big brother, trumpeter, musician, composer, band leader, Mr. Sydney Mavundla. Hey, kunjani
Thank you.
Sydney? Kunjani Sydney?
Hey, Mvubu, ngiyaphila mfethu. Hope you're good too.
No, I'm well. I'm well. Thank you for making time and gracing us with your
No,
presence.
thank you, man. Thank you for inviting. It's quite a pleasure, and thanks to everybody who's viewing on the other side who's seeing this talk we're having. Yeah.
Yeah. I was playing there Abafarisi from your debut album Uhambo.
Thanks, man. Yeah, the Rambo. Yeah.
Why released 2016?
End of yeah, December 2016. 2016, yeah, 16, yeah,
Yeah.
2016.
I mean, you've been around, Sydney. What would you say held you to take such a long time to release it?
Hey, it's um, it's quite a thing, Vubu. I've been getting this question a lot, and I like it
Yeah,
because it kind of like sets the record straight. You know,
yeah,
I've been working with different people, and I remember people like Andy, and each time, hey, Mavundla, can you play one of your tunes? And yeah, I'll bring it tomorrow, and I never come with it. Okay, fine. We end up not playing any of my music, and then it's been like it's all said and done. What is it? What more am I bringing on the table? It felt that kind of vibe, and hence I was very much comfortable being a sideman. He's playing other people's music, and I was very comfortable as well being in the band, not being the leader.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's like somebody else will announce the tunes. If there's an interview, somebody else will deal with that. If there's if the leader has to deal with the monies and payments, somebody will deal with it, but not me.
Yeah, with all
So
the stress. Yeah.
yes, I got so comfortable with that, and it kept on going like that, and then people kept like on the side will finish a gig. When we finish a gig, we never go home straight away. We'll
Yeah,
be sitting
yeah,
and somebody from the crowd will come and say, "Hey, Mavudi, no, Vile Tata, we've heard you, but when is yours? When is your? We want to
yeah,
hear yours now. We want to see you leading the band. We want to hear your music. We want to hear how you write and all those kind of things. I know chance is coming, chance is coming. So it took quite a long time. Thanks to people like Imeric, he pushed me to do a gig as well. Like I've been doing a few gigs here and there, but he pushed me to do a gig in the Orbit, my band, after I've played with
oh yeah.
Andile. So I went and I did that, and a friend of mine, Prince Zoom, he said, "You know
Okay.
what, Mavundla, I want you to record now. Just record something. Just record this." And I said, I don't know. We'll see, man. It took him 2 years to convince me to finally do it.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And then I guess everything in a scat side. Sometimes when the time is right, the time is right. So it happened. I,
yeah.
I want to believe that even the first day in the studio, I was still in the mode where I'll say, maybe we should cancel this. Maybe we should,
I can imagine.
maybe we still a maybe.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I remember we got to the studio, we started working, and then finished the day. All went well, and like, oh, okay, so okay, it's doable actually. Let's come back again tomorrow. So in 3 days'
yeah,
time, we we're done. So it felt so good. So yeah, and it comes with all those packages of being a leader now. Talk and the things I was running away from. All the things,
oh
being
yeah.
the leader, announcing the tunes of the
Ish,
gigs, But
ish.
I guess one has to do it at some point. One has to do it at some point.
Yeah, well, I guess your story is a bit similar to mine.
I can I
Besides
can
that,
think
you've
so.
been doing this longer
I'm
than
I'm
me.
losing you there.
Which, for me also, I've been enjoying. I'm back. Yeah, young is so much.
I was losing you there. Yeah, the story, your story is kind of similar. Yes, that's why I started losing you.
Network is hitting us again.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, oh, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You've been hitting, except I've been enjoying being the sideman and almost like taking different roles.
Yeah,
With
yeah,
different people.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
no, that's true. That's true. And it's easy to get comfortable on those things. You think your musicianship ends there, and then once you jump the fence, it's another story. You see, oh, okay, there's other things as well that you've missed.
yeah, yeah. Hey, I'm in Brazil, man. How are you keeping inspired during this time? What helps you keep inspired?
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's quite it's not an easy one, if I may put it that way. I guess
Mm,
at this time we're all like trying to learn and understand what is it exactly that we are faced with. Like it's a new thing. I mean, I don't remember in my entire life having to stay at home. I was saying to my wife the other day, there's people who are claiming to have been married for 30 years, but actually
oh yeah,
they haven't seen each other for 30 years because uh, They leave in the
Eesh.
morning and go to work, come at night, sleep. So basically, possibly 1 or 2 hours at night and sleep. On the weekend, the daddy goes to soccer matches and mommy goes to a stock fair or something. So they are busy with their life. Like
Oh
they,
yeah.
so comes March 26th or 27th. Now people have to sit 24/7 in the house. It's like, who is this person? You're starting to know the person you're sitting with. So it becomes like the longest holiday, the longest break you've ever had, the
Yeah.
longest time you have
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
share. I mean, somebody was telling me about this guy. Usehlala emotweni because usekhathele ubona unkosikazi bayalwa, you know. So basically, for me, I'm trying to avoid anything that can be negative, firstly. Even thinking about
Oh, I
COVID
see.
destroying us as people, destroying us and our careers as well. I'm trying hard to stay away from that. The good thing about COVID, or maybe not a good thing about COVID, the good thing about the break we have or we are having, it's the fact that you get to sit down and rethink your life yourself. Where do you want to be? What do you want to do? Where have you gone wrong? Where can you fix? And all those kind of things. You've got a chance to deal with that. I wanted to write some music, then I want to write that. Let me see what I can write. You know, some like myself, I cannot plan hard on writing. I prefer it coming kind of something must channel me towards that. But you've got time to think and rethink certain things. Because sometimes, as musicians, not just musicians only, other people in their careers, we tend to think that our career, my career, and there's nothing out of that. So now we learn
Yeah.
other things. Right now, we're talking about technology. How much of the technology we've used before the lockdown compared to the technology we're using now, we are having a chat right now.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. No, true.
before
True.
the lockdown, it's either I'll call you or I'll come to you, or I'll call you, tell you to come to me, something like that. We wouldn't think of such
Yeah.
things, you know. So basically, it's kind of like opening our minds and making us think and rethink certain things and other ways of living. Of course, we want COVID to go. We want COVID to go. We definitely don't need COVID,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, especially for us to because we want to see each other. Right now, people are dying. You can't even support them. You can't support each other the way we know how. All those things, people are in hospital. We can't even go and visit them like we know how. So yeah, but the truth is, let's stay positive. It's rough. It's very tough. But I say music must continue. Music making and music playing, it's very kind of like depressing as well, kind of like taking something out of a musician when you're sitting at home writing a song and you can already imagine what is Mthunzi gonna do on this one, what is so gonna do on this one, but you still cannot
Yeah.
have them in the
Yeah.
same room and say, guys, let's have some fun and play some music and like we normally do.
Y-
Yeah,
Yeah. And speaking about that, I know one of your passions is arranging.
yeah. Oh
Have
yes, it
you
is, man. It
had
is. It is.
any inspiration to write something or arrange?
Yeah. Uh, it's I had a problem like on the first week of the lockdown, my computer crashed
Oh
with
no.
almost everything that I have, but some of it was saved in the cloud somewhere. But still, it's very nice because all those things I'm talking about, rethinking this, rethinking that, even the arranging. Last week I was doing an arrangement of my song, which is it's in the
Okay.
album as well. It's Musa, and I just thought, you know what? Let me just do this just for horns only and the drama
Yeah.
and a rapper and some rapper thizeni also rapper on top of that thing, like different setup and
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, so basically it's something I like from the days of Christmas, but it's one skill I haven't fully like used in the entire like career of mine. But I keep on like here and there, do this, here and there, do this, here and there, do that. But I really like it. I really like it. I love it. I love
Oh no, no, I'm looking forward to that, man. And another thing, Brasini, as your album is titled Uhambo. I mean, you've had a long journey and
it.
you've
Right.
worked with a lot of people, different
Right.
genres, and including classic. Like, how did you get yourself up to that level? Like, did you have to be aggressive to be in some of those professional situations, or people just found you? Like word of
It's
mouth.
actually that's exactly why I called it Luhambo, the journey. It's for the fact that I look at the journey that I've been into and the kinds and the types of music that I've played. So basically, for me to be in different stages, to start with in tunes, we forget that when I registered at Natal University, I was already accepted at VET. So basically, I was ready to go and study classical music. And basically, that's what I knew more than jazz as well. And Brian Tusa said, no, no, no. I'll speak to Darius. You must come and do an audition. Actually, I was already down in Durban visiting, and the schools were closed in Durban. The varsity was closed around December. And Darius organized a few guys like Chris Metz. I remember Yegan was there for me to come and do an audition. I did it and I got accepted. So it was a matter of choosing which way I go. So I chose Natal. They offered me like a scholarship, so I decided to go down there. And but I'll tell you a
Yeah,
funny story about me with and jazz. When I got to the first year class of improv, we used to call it workshop. What's this tune?
yeah,
Milestone and So What. We used to play
yeah,
those two
yeah.
tunes. So it's like a modal thing. So, but I used to get frustrated because if you say it's going to be a D minor, then play the D. The bass must play the D. I must hear the D. And then the bass starts walking. And I'm like, I see now you're messing up now. I mean, really, because I didn't understand. I didn't have the vocab I
Yeah.
have today. So they had to explain to me that this is a walking bass. You're spelling all the chord notes, the chord
Okay.
tones, and what have you,
Okay.
passing notes and what have you, like that. Yeah. So basically, but Freya, myself, and other trumpet players who studied at UKZN at the time were studying classical music, basically, when it comes to trumpet. Our teacher was a principal trumpet player for the KZNPO. So we're playing classical music. Raffaele was there with me playing classical. So when I got to Joburg, and then I got to know a few guys like the Robin Finlay, and then I started working
Yeah.
with them in Graham Scott Big Band. And then every now and then they'll pull me into the orchestra. You know, I remember the first guy who pulled me into the orchestra, it was Donny Bauer, you know, Donny Bauer. And we were doing the Hand of Messiah, you know, playing the D trumpet. It was like, oh man, it feels painful, but you know. And then yeah, and then but on the other hand, the attitude as well. I wanted to do it. It was like it was. I remember Lex saying, if you can do it,
Yeah.
why don't you do it? If you started it, let it pay for you. Let it pay for your bills or something like that. You know, yeah. But basically, it's the love of music at the end of the day. Love of music. It's another
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
that pushes me to just do what and if I don't feel like doing something, I try and pull myself out of it. If I don't think it's what I can do or I want to do, I just
Okay.
excuse myself. Yeah. Hey, having a nice thing that I can see.
Mm, mm, mm.
Yeah, Mvubu. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Are you there? Hello. Are you there? Can't hear you. Leah.
Hey, sure, Mthunzi, sorry about that, man. The
Yeah.
network was messing me up there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's some voodoo.
It's some voodoo.
Hey, man, so you got introduced to the trumpet very early on, 12 years
Yeah,
by
yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah,
Was he an
yeah.
active musician?
Oh, you know, at time I was never an active musician except in the church. We played in the church. You know, I'm sure you know me and Lingwasa and a few guys, Timbi, so Ndabo and all that. We coming from
Yeah.
the
Oh,
Salvation Army,
yes,
that's our
yeah.
church. So my dad, he's just retired now in 2012. He's a colonel in the Salvation Army. So he was a colonel in the Salvation Army. So he wanted me to play. He so wanted me to play. So uh, he ended up being one of my first teachers. Before him, I had a guy called Pumlan Mtombe. But the problem, he was close to my age. So me and him, because I was not interested in playing, we end up playing soccer than playing the trumpet. So we'll end
Okay,
up playing
okay.
soccer. In the church hall, we'll move these chairs away and then play soccer inside the church hall. So like
Oh,
we were not, you know. So and that time I wasn't staying with my parents. They were in Swaziland. I was in Barberton. And then when we moved down to KZN, and then I moved down with them, and then when they moved down, then that's when my dad tried to push me, but still, I don't think I wanted to. until 1987 when Prince Lemwasa came visiting and he was staying
Yeah.
at our house. So, I mean, I remember I hated Prince Lemwasa. The first day he came,
Okay.
yeah, I just hated the guy. Like, he stayed at our house.
Uh,
We picked him up. You know those early flights, they're like 4 o'clock flights in the morning. They were very cheap
yeah.
those days.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
my dad will book him that flight to come to KZN, and then we'll fetch him at the airport. And then he talks too much. He won't sleep. He will eat breakfast at 8. And then at night, I mean at 9, and then he takes me
Mm.
down to the church hall. We are practicing, just the two of us. I thought, this guy, and I'm scared to say, no, I don't want this thing. You know?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And my dad is very happy that they're pushing me. And then we break at lunch. I'm thinking we're done. And then we back again. We break for dinner. We
Yeah.
back again until 9 at night. I'm like, this guy, no, he must go
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
stay somewhere else. I can't deal with this. I can't deal with this guy. And at
How
home,
old?
nobody's.
What age was this?
What age was this, man? I, I would think around 15, 14, 15, I think. I can't really remember very well.
Ah.
But
Okay.
then,
Okay.
but I like to count very well on that. But then nobody's helping me here at home. My dad is not even barging in and saying, no, no, he's tired now. My mother is not barging in. My sisters are minding their own business. And my younger
Yeah.
brother was still young then. So it was that vibe until I loved it. And then I remember sending a card to Brian Tusi. I just got this card at Game Shop, whatever shop was it. I was with my parents. I saw it. It had a French horn outside. I remember Brian Tusi
Yeah.
telling me a few years before he passed on, he said he still has that card. The card had a
Wow.
French horn
Wow.
outside, and then it says, "Can I practice with you?" So I read, then I gave it to
Yeah.
him. You know, it was like I'm asking. It's like more like asking for lessons. Then that's when I started. Like I was getting into it. Like that's around 1988 beginning. But then end of that year, I had to come to Joburg. So basically, it was like a year thingy kind of vibe, a year and a half or something like that. I can't remember very well.
Oh,
Yeah,
I see.
so I was with Brian Trucy. Brian Trucy was like my daddy, my mentor, my brother was like, you know,
Yeah.
everything. Like,
So you got the really had the chance to get the basics down at an early age.
yeah. You know, I so wish though, Mthunzi, I was as focused. I mean, I remember the first time I met you. I remember the first time I met you, so okay. And I
Oh,
look
yeah.
at that tender age, you guys were already focused at what you wanted to do. It took me a long time to be focused at what I want to do. I even remember after university, there's a story people they
Mm.
don't know. Andy will attest to this. He knows it because he was the one who was inviting me. They were starting a band in Joburg.
Yeah.
I was in the defense force that time. Just came back varsity. I went to the defense force. And then uh, he will call a rehearsal like at 12 just to
Yeah.
accommodate me because I still need to do the army gig. But I'll come at 10 at night. I never honor time.
Yeah.
I mean, people they know me lately like me and time you can't mess up with
I
me.
know. Yeah. You always. Yeah.
Me and time you can't
On
mess up.
it.
But those days I didn't care. Like I didn't care. I'll even bring a drink for Andy just to calm him down. And then the voice was called Voice. And then
Okay.
Marcus came, and then Andy said, "No, we're going to take Marcus now." And then I said to Andy, "I bless you because I know I'm the one who messed up. It's not like you guys messed me up. I messed up, you know, because I was not,
Yeah. Yeah.
at some point, I was thinking maybe I should even drop this music thing. It's not
Mm.
something that I should be doing. So, yeah, but then, hence, I'm saying when you talk about getting the basics, bathini ngesiZulu bathi imbongolo ungayisa emfuleni mara uma ingafuni ukuphuza it's nothing.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault. You can't do anything. So
I
basically,
see.
so basically, so basically, yes, I had. I mean, there was a guy, trumpet player as well, in the classical field. He was in the Salvation Army, a white guy, Alan Reich was his name. He was happy to give lessons to anyone who is in the
Wow.
Salvation Army. But
Okay.
how many of us went to him? If I'm not talking about a paying lesson, I'm talking about a free lesson.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
and
Wow.
sometimes he will get out of his way to be where you can actually be,
Yeah.
just to accommodate you because he understood the logistics around the transportation and all those things. He could drive. So
Yeah.
yeah, and he was
Yeah.
an old man and good trumpet player. He used to play in the orchestra. I think at some point he was a second trumpet player with the packed orchestra, but he was a very good trumpet player. He used to play the cornet solos in the Salvation Army. We used to look up to him. But
Okay.
each time he offered a lesson, I possibly went to him 3 or 4 times, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. You know.
I
And
mean, you've
yeah.
you've
So
had
basically,
some great, trumpet tutors. One of them is
oh yeah.
Arturo Sandoval. How did you meet him, and how did he get to be your tutor?
It's a very nice story, that one.
Uh,
It was towards the end of 1994. We had
yeah.
varsity, and Dara says he calls me and George Murray. He says he's got a scholarship for two senior students, trumpet, to go to Miami
Okay.
and study at Florida International University. But the aim to get us to Miami is because trumpet is big in Miami with the influence of the Cubans.
Oh
So,
yeah. I
and
see. I see.
Arturo is in the university where he's serving us. So we're like,
Mm.
when somebody says that, it sounds like a story. Like this guy's gonna wake up and say something different tomorrow. And I saw this thing like growing, like this thing. Now we're communicating. Chuchu Valdez came into the country. We had a meeting with Chuchu Valdez just for him to
Whoa.
to tell us who is this person, who is this Arturo Sandoval, what kind of a person,
Okay. Okay.
what we must expect. And we're sitting there with the translator and Taras Brubeck just talking to Chuchu Valdez. And then
Mm.
I think I left the country. It was the 2nd of Jan, 1995,
Yeah.
off to Miami. And then we get there, we register at the university. They're waiting for us. It was myself and George Murray. They get us a place to stay. And then Arturo is not there. Arturo is out of town. Arturo is out of the country. And then first time I met Arturo, he came to the varsity to play with. We had two big bands at the university. It was the senior and the junior kind of vibe. So basically,
Okay.
the senior is more like the master students, but it's like the guys kind of vibe.
Oh
So
yeah.
he was
Yeah.
he was playing with that band. He was gonna have a
Ah, I
concert
see.
with that band, and I was placed in the second band, which for me was still a very good band. Like I mean, those guys. I don't know how they groom them. Like I mean,
Yeah.
and I was on the split lead. I was placed on the split lead, like play second or first kind of thing. The split lead, as we call it. And then first time I met Arturo, so we decide, me and George, who's gonna go first for lessons. Arturo is here for us, and Arturo wouldn't give a lesson at the university. You must go to his house. But he said for us South African students, two of us, he will
Mm.
come on a certain day, but both of us must see us like an hour, this one, an hour, that one. So George went first. And then
Yeah.
I'm supposed to come in. As I'm going towards the room where we're supposed to be, I feel like the walls are vibrating, like vibrating. The trumpet,
Oh
I can
yeah.
hear that's Arturo playing. Like it's like the walls are
Yeah.
vibrating.
Oh man.
And then I wait at the door until George comes out, and then I go inside. And then I remember that lesson. I couldn't play a note, nothing.
Phew.
I tried like once. I mean, he wants us to sit, and he sits next to you, stand here. and then we play like I couldn't play. I was so scared. I was so overwhelmed. Everything was like it felt like everything is happening at once. A lot of things like. And then I remember I said, you know what? Let's just leave it. You could see that I was like I was even shaking.
Yeah.
So we started
Yeah.
talking about other things, like other things about the country, about his country, my country, and this and that, the music,
Yeah.
and then he calmed me down in that way. Then we played maybe a few notes at the end, but second lesson it was much better than we started. But the sad part is that for all the time I was there, which is about 5 months, I only had
Okay.
3 lessons because he was never there. He was like very busy
Was on the
working.
road or
So
something.
was on the road, yeah, on the road all the time,
Okay.
out of the country, out of town, and all that. But it was worth it on the other hand. I mean, I got to meet people like John Bailey, who was another trumpet teacher,
Oh yeah.
who
Yeah.
helped me very, did a lot for me. It's just that I couldn't register with him because I've already registered with Arturo. But he still gave his free time to me. He said, you know what, I'll come and help you. Yeah. So it was a beautiful
Mm.
experience, I must say. Beautiful experience, I must say.
Were you playing? Then you came back. Were you playing gigs by then, before or after your time
No,
in Mia?
uh, most gigs I played, it was in Durban with we had a school, with a student band. It was our band that we, like Bongani Sokele. I don't know if you know Bongani Sokele on double bass,
Oh,
and it was
okay.
Leonard Rachavani on saxophone, and then later it was Louise, and then it was Fiona. Basically students. So we used to have our own gigs in Durban on weekends. I remember we used to have a gig on Friday inside the university. It's like the bar area. And then on Sunday we had in the race course we had another gig. So basically, but it wasn't the professional gigs that I started doing big ones. Okay, maybe with the orchestra once in a while in Durban,
Yeah.
but it was mostly when I got to Joburg. I started working with people like Bruce Cassidy. Actually, the whole intention with Bruce for me was to take lessons with him.
Oh,
Because
I see. I see.
I've never had a jazz trumpet teacher where all like it's about like technique, this and this and that. Let's. So most of the jazz we used to pick up from the records in terms of articulations and all that, but technically we were taught around. So I wanted to start with Bruce Cassidy. Bruce Cassidy decided, you know what, he's gonna have me in his own band, which was Hot Foot Sympathy Orchestra.
Okay.
And then it felt like it's the easy way for me to learn than for us to call a lesson and sit one on one. And then every time I have a question, then I'll ask him, like like that, that kind of thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and then I worked with him, and then I worked with Steve Dyer, and which was called Southern Freeway. Oh, actually, that one happened while immediately when I came back from America. That's right. Andile introduced me to Steve Dyer, and then we started doing Southern Freeway. We did Zimbabwe, and whatever, and then South Africa, a couple of gigs, yeah. And then yeah, basically that's what it's. Yeah. And then the rest is attached to all those things, the orchestral stuff, the big
Yeah.
band. And then I was saying to Sisonke the other day, I like their generation because if you look at his band, it's the people that he was with in Cape Town. It's either at varsity, but they grew up together.
Oh yeah.
So it's like
Peers. Yeah.
it peers. So I always say to myself, I don't know if I have peers.
Mm.
Even the people I work with, I mean, like I interact with from Natal, it's either they were my seniors. Like, for example, if you look at Andile was my senior at school.
Oh,
Concord,
okay.
Freya,
Okay.
you know, those were my seniors
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
school. I was coming before them. And then after, people with me, possibly the same year, will talk like the likes of George Murray, who's not my age as well, who's older than me, and then his wife, and then we'll talk like Bongani Sokele, and then, yeah,
Yeah.
basically. But then I feel like all my peers or people that I worked with exactly the same time, they not trending exactly where I'm trending or working where I'm working. They've diverted to other things as well. Yeah. So hence, I'm happy with you guys. I'm happy with yeah. It's a vibe. Yeah.
Well, I remember my first big gig. It was with Opera
Oh
Victor
yeah,
Antoni.
yeah.
I don't know
Yes, I
if you
remember those
remember.
days. I remember
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
I had a messed up horn, and I get to the rehearsal room. There's Brahmakoy sitting there. Hey, the pads are falling everywhere, and he's like, "Hey, Zach, got in Donny." I'm like,
Yeah.
"No, no, no, it's the horn. It's the horn." No, 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 it's
Yeah.
not the horn. Go. Then to make it worse, lunchtime you come uthi usho mfana kithi udlala kamnandi man kodwa mara le horn yakho le yini igama layo. I'm like Eric. What Eric? And then you laughed.
Oh, I can't
But
even remember.
you get it.
Yeah. Don't
No, but
remember. Yeah,
but
yeah,
that
yeah.
led to you
Yeah.
getting me a like a good horn. You
A good one. I
organized.
remember
Yeah, so,
that. Eric. I, I, I don't remember anyone playing a horn called Eric.
yeah, now I haven't seen anyone playing
I haven't seen
on an
anyone
Eric.
playing that. Eric. Yeah, man.
But at
If I
least you
know
know that got me a proper horn thanks
a
to
proper
you
horn, no
for
thanks, man.
3,000 rands.
That's great, man. That's great, man. Those were the good old days, Prof. Victor and Tony and all that, you know. And I
Yeah,
miss him
yeah,
still. You know, he had his own ways of working, his own ways of dealing with certain things. Prince
yeah.
Limasa used to say discrepancy.
Oh, yeah,
Probably when he
yeah.
says something goes wrong, he says, hey, kune discrepancy. You know. Yeah, but I mean, really, you yourself, I mean, if I look at you, Nosisonke, first time I met the two of you, first time he just blew me like, I mean, so we were sleeping, I think, when these boys were doing what they were doing. I remember asking you a question, who's your teacher? And he said, no, I've been listening to
Ish.
the record, you know.
Yeah,
I'm like, gee, man,
yeah.
it's something else. It's beautiful. I mean, like because I normally tell the I would say people of my age that we should embrace the younger generation, and not just for ourselves, but for the upcoming guys after them, because we were also embraced. I mean, if Brian Chusi wasn't there, I don't know what could have happened around me. I mean, really.
Sure.
You look at Pajeri Gunene in Durban, he was a saxophone player, but
Yeah.
he embraced it, like he saw something, he said something, this boy, Darius Brubeck, you name them. I mean, Fairfag, when I got to the varsity, he looked after me like I'm his brother, like son or something like that. I mean, he'd take me for lunch, come and eat lunch,
Wow.
come and do these share mouthpieces and all that. So it's
Yeah.
very important for us to I've seen like older guys saying, "Hey, adlale inkwenkwe zemfana thina." So for me,
Yeah, yeah.
it's very wrong when you go that direction because we actually say we're killing the nation. We're killing the nation. I mean, if if
No,
if we
true.
if we all go, who's going to be left? And they are left with what? So if people have to be left behind, they should say, hey, Sasala, we're left with this. They gave us this. We're going to pass it on to the next. And two, not just passing. When you pass something, my dad used to say he's happy to see somebody that he teaches plays better or does something better than him because it means he has done the job and they are doing the job now. They're continuing with it. So than to say,
Yeah.
you know what, you'll see, you'll find yourself and what have you. And yeah, that's it. I mean, Abu Prajoni, they've tried what they've tried. So basically, we must all try something. Try something. Like we cannot just depart and say, I've done nothing. So it's more like
No,
a
true.
wasted journey for you, wasted journey to come here on earth to just pass by and say, I'm gone again, kind of vibe.
Yeah, no, true. I think all of us in our own little corners should just try and reach out and inspire, someone. Any projects that you're working on that people should look out for in the near future?
I wish this lockdown, I nearly said countdown, John, but
Yeah, yeah.
this lockdown, I wish it wasn't there. It's delaying certain things. I had a better answer, I'm sure, at some point, but I don't think I still have the same answer now. So yeah, basically, I've been just writing some stuff, and some of it has been written before, even before lockdown, towards what I want to do, kind of thing, another project that I want to release. And
Mm, mm.
beside that, now I've been working with other people. I just did a recording with Peter, his album, he's recording a
Oh, okay.
tune for him. And then there's a lady, Asanda Palm. I arranged the horns for her, and then I recorded everything, and then I sent it down to her. And then,
Wow, that's beautiful.
yeah, and then on Tuesday I was doing Umi Mintage or Mimi Mjali. Apparently,
Okay, okay.
yeah, there's a live gig on Sunday, a live streaming for that. Yeah, so basically, that's what I've been doing, and yeah, a little bit of teaching here and there. But yeah,
Yeah,
basically, I'm
yeah.
mostly at home. It's said that I haven't been practicing really. If I look at my horn, it's like it's pointing a finger at me, say,
Hey, no, I
you know,
feel you.
yeah,
I
like
feel
the
you.
horn, like
Ngizokuthola.
ngokuthola, liyeza ilanga lami.
Yeah.
Eish, yeah,
No, Prasini, man, thank you again for making time and just coming
yeah,
to
man,
to
yeah, man.
chat
No,
and
but
hang.
Vu, I really appreciate it, and thanks for inviting me. And the people watching on the other side, thank you for taking time to listen to the chat we just had now. And I really, really appreciate it. And I feel like this is the only way, and this is the way people are going to know about us. Some people they get to see people on stage and they think
Mm,
that's it.
mm.
You know, there's more. We are family people. We are this. We are that. Like more Kai. When you get home and they say, "Hey, amakimbis, ibisi lomntwana," yonke le thing
Yeah,
there. It's
yeah,
got nothing to do with the 251 now. It's got
yeah,
everything to
yeah.
do with you buying the
Yeah, no,
kimbis.
true, true.
So you forget that you can't, that's the thing. I'm just saying. But really, thank you very much. Thank you. And thanks to the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture for creating the platform. And yeah,
Yes,
thank
yes.
you. Thank you very much.
Prasini, with all that being said, ngicela usivalele le nkonzo.
Oh, le nkonzo izoba nzima ukuyivala. Just, yeah,
Okay.
uh, just to play. I've been thinking about this tune.
Mm, mm.
This tune. It's a composition by George Murray. It's
Okay.
called Pink Lips. He wrote it
I see.
dedicated to Ufeya. So we were all in the same big band at the time. So he
Mm,
wrote
mm.
it for Ubra Feya, and I was there, and I liked the tune. So basically, at some point, I want to believe I liked it more than the person himself, Ufeya, and the composer himself, George Murray. So I
Oh
was just
yeah,
thinking,
yeah.
yeah. I'll just play a few lines around it, and that's it. Yeah.
Okay, no, it's cool. Prasigni, thank you once more. Cela ungikhonzele ekhaya lapho. Siyabonga.
Ngizowabingelela mfana ekhaya. Ukhonze nawe ekhaya mfethu.
Oh, okay, no, I'll do that.
Mvubu, thank you very much, man.
Cheers. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. I'll be back this Wednesday with the one and only Mr. Andile Yenana. Until then, thank you. Keep safe and have a good night.